This week, we review DC's Jonah Hex and interview Tyrese Gibson and the creative team behind Mayhem.
Well, yeehaw, y'all! With a moving picture in the works, y'all are gonna hear more about DC Comics' classic Western hero, Jonah Hex. By the way, did you know I was up for the same role as Megan Fox? That harlot got it, but I think I would have been much better. Don't y'all think so?
Jonah Hex is a classic DC Western anti-hero, a cross between The Man with No Name and the Dark Knight's Two-Face. Rebooted in 2005 by the writing team of Jimmy Palmiotti and Justin Gray, the new series began with single-issue stories easy to get into like classic Star Trek episodes, all of which were excellent in their action, depth, and art. Recently, however, they're trying a longer story arc with the Six Gun War, but unlike its action-packed predecessors, it's drawn out and crosses over into the DC universe a little too much for newer readers. It feels forced, and doesn't have the originality the series had in the beginning. Many different artists have worked on Jonah Hex, with Cristiano Cucina currently holding the reins. His work is appropriately dark and gritty, but lacks the cinematic appeal of previous issues. Issue number 46 of Jonah Hex, the third of the Six Gun War series, comes out today. We give the latest story arc 3 oranges out of 5, but suggest starting from the first trade paperback, Face Full of Violence, which we give a higher rating of 4.5 oranges out of 5. This week, we're at Meltdown Comics in West Hollywood, California, to interview Tyrese Gibson and the creative team behind Mayhem. You're a big recording artist and big movie star. Why comics?
Last year, it all started for me when I was out at Comic-Con promoting Death Race. I've never been exposed to that much selfless passion. I have fans, but I've never had a fan show up in a Tyrese costume at a Tyrese concert. And so to see fans out there at Comic-Con walking around in their favorite comic book character outfit, it just really moved me like nothing else. And, you know, for me, at that point, the seeds were planted. I was like, I got to figure out a way to be a part of this world. And Mike Lee approached me about a comic book that they were working on. And that's when I met Will Wilson and Tone. And you know, Mayhem was born. I would describe Mayhem as a modern-day gunslinging vigilante who seeks refuge from the basement of his church.
Mayhem is basically a contemporary noir urban Robin Hood who steals from the criminal element and uses that money to fund his campaign against crime.
A modern-day urbanized version of Batman without the money and without the glamour that Bruce Wayne has.
The original inspiration for the art was just my love for the kind of comic books that I like to do. I like to do books that are real and gritty and have kind of like a realistic world kind of quality to them. And that's where all of the inspiration came from.
What's the soundtrack of Mayhem? What music sort of inspires that? On
iTunes right now is a song called Mayhem, Take Me Away. And that song was done as a song to go along with the comic book. There's just a bunch of things creatively that we're doing as a team that has never been done before to heighten the awareness of comic books. We have a huge autograph signing coming up here at Meltdown on August 5th, the release of Mayhem. And I'm expecting a huge crowd out here of fans that have never bought a comic book in their life, along with all of the existing comic book fans. That's going to be a lot of people. And I forgot to tell Gaston, but I'm performing. That's right. I'm performing in front. I'm getting permits to block off Sunset Boulevard. I'm setting up a stage. I'm performing. We're going to cause real mayhem.
To get your copy of Mayhem, go to buymayhem.com or head to your local comic book store today to pick up the first issue. Well, that's it for this week. Don't forget, you can subscribe to our show free on iTunes, YouTube, or an RSS reader of your choice. Go to acomicbookorange.com/subscribe for details. And I'll see you next week for another A Comic Book Orange.
I was in New York at Starbucks, and this woman was behind the counter, and I never forget this. She said, "Good luck on your comic book Mayhem." I said, "What are you talking about right now?" Like she got excited when I walked in the store, so I knew she was a fan. But as she was giving me my cookies, okay, as she was giving me my cookies, she said, "Good luck with your comic book Mayhem." And I said, "How do you know about Mayhem?" She said, "I follow you on Twitter." So it's just that type of stuff alone. I get off on that shit. I love it. The world needs to know about Mayhem.
So you're saying you get off on the cookies?
I do. That's it. Got to get off on them cookies. It was a chocolate chip cookie, okay, that had pecan nuts in it. It was the greatest. And I had to have it. And I had me some coffee too. Thank you, Starbucks.
Mmm.